Well, welcome to a Studio Q end of year get together. This is a kind of a wrap up, a roundup of what's been going on, well, what we think's been going on Beat TV this year. And with me are some of the regulars that you see every week, week in, week out.
Without fail.
I know, without fail, but it's a great mob and you should join us too, beattv.org.au. We will still be filming over summer. We've got the whole queer summer.
We'll be back in time for midsummer.
And funnily enough, sports.
The old
yes, I'm
Vic
going
tennis.
out, that's right,
Yeah.
Vic tennis, there's volleyball, there's rowing, there's, you don't think, well, I don't think of us as sporty.
Is there swimming? Swimming?
Well, the World Championships are coming up next year, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind popping down with a media pass and getting a,
Getting
what
in
do
the
you
deep
call
end.
it? Well,
Look.
yeah, but what do they call it, the changing room? Yeah, that wouldn't be.
You're incorrigible. Before we do all that,
Yes.
will we find out who from amongst us is Queen of the Bloopers?
Oh.
Well, I know it's not me because
No,
we
you-
don't make them on Q View, which you, on Q View we're the one take wonders, so we don't. So you won't see any of me. I'm telling you
Now,
now.
you and I seem to have got away unscathed on this.
Absolutely, you'd think I was actually editing the program, but I'm
You'd
not.
think so.
I don't know what it is. They've all fallen into a blooper black hole. But let's have a look at some little. It's a little Christmas tradition we've had in the past, which we're revisiting. Let's have a look at some little blooperettes and see who comes off the worst, or perhaps
Do
the
we
best.
have
I
to?
think.
Oh, let's do that.
Here we go.
Hello, I'm Mark, and I'm in the studio today with. Well, just keep going.
You've done it again.
Yeah, I have. I just forget the names.
It's okay.
Anyway, okay.
Don't stress.
Hi, I'm Jo Mullins and you're watching Studio Q. Tonight I have with me Annette Jaberis, who is an Aboriginal Wurundjeri. Can I start again? Jaberis?
Shippers.
Jaberis. Yeah, I knew from your face that I'd said it wrong. Wurundjeri Elder.
Yeah.
Jaberis.
Shippers.
Jaberis. Yep. Take two. Hi, my name is Jo Mullins and you're watching Studio Q. Tonight I have with me in the studio Annette Jaberis, who is a Wurundjeri Elder, who is a Sorry. Take three.
It's all for the Christmas blooper reel. That's fine.
Oh no, don't. Take four. Hi, I'm Jo Mullins. I can't say what I wrote. Yep. Sorry.
How sad, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we'll just do a segue for that.
Coming up after the break, here's a recent visit we had to the Also Fabulous store.
And Harriet, what's coming up after the break?
Are we on now?
Bless you, girlfriend.
And in 5, 4, 3.
2.
Hello and welcome to Q Focus. My name's Mark. Joining me tonight in the studio, Doug Pollard, editor of Melbourne Star. Doug, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thanks. And you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
And I've forgotten.
Stop. Cut.
We're going to have a blooper tape for you, Mark. Mark, you're going to have a blooper tape.
All right. Are you still rowing? Okay, start again with the intro.
Welcome back to Q Focus. I'm Mark, and with me in the studio is Doug Pollard.
No, it's my turn. Just start again. Carry on.
again.
It's Doug Pollard, editor of Melbourne Star.
Hi, with me I have Lima.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Suitably fabulous, I think. Yes.
You're looking very, very fabulous.
I'm feeling a little bit fabulous tonight, actually. Thank you for noticing.
Yes. So...
See,
Cut. No.
Maybe, but
Well, it's a bit of fun.
That's
and it is
right.
the season of fun, and we hope you have a good one.
But
And
isn't it terrible when that happens to you and it just gets worse and worse, which it does?
No, I've never experienced that actually.
never experienced digging yourself
You
deeper
never
and deeper
got
into
on.
a hole
No,
that you
because
can't get
I
out
get
of.
first edit on all that stuff, so none of it no longer exists.
But for now, we'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
That's right.
Very
Merry Christmas.
and queer Christmas. And we'll be back after the break with, I think, a visit to the RSPCA. And that's something that's relevant at Christmas for sure. So we'll see you soon.
Thanks very much. Merry Christmas.
Hi, I'm Jo Mullins and you're watching Studio Q. It's Christmas season, and during Christmas, most of us, if we celebrate Christmas, spend it with family and friends. If you're anything like me, your pets fall into both of those categories. Today I'm here on location at the RSPCA in Burwood to find out what happens to those animals that don't have a family over this Christmas period. Because from November to February, thousands of animals arrive at various shelters across Victoria. I'm going to be speaking with Tamara Brown, who is the RSPCA shelter supervisor, to find out what happens to these animals. Tamara, thank you for taking time to join us. You're one of the shelter supervisors.
Yeah, that's right.
Over the November to February period, there's a huge increase in the amount of animals dumped and given to the RSPCA. Why are so many animals dumped at this time of year?
Okay. Well, one of the main reasons for the increase in animals is actually kitten season or cat season, and really what that coincides with is the main breeding season for cats. During the warmer months, they breed literally like rabbits, and we have a huge increase in the number of litters of kittens that are brought into the shelter every day. One of the other reasons, obviously, is the Christmas period. A lot of people starting their holidays find that they can't really cope with their animal. They haven't made plans for the animal for Christmas, and often a lot of people dump their animals at that time of year as well.
And I imagine people giving pets as Christmas gifts to unsuspecting recipients, that plays a big part as well.
It certainly does. This time of year we often get last year's Christmas presents coming in as well. So they were cute as puppies. 10 months down the track, they're not so cute anymore. Then they're going off on holidays, they don't know what to do with them, and they bring them back in. We also get a few animals returned immediately after Christmas as well. As you say, some people weren't aware that people were going to buy them these presents and aren't willing to really sort of cope with them and end up surrendering them to the RSPCA.
So what is it that people are doing right or wrong that's resulting in all of these animals ending up here?
Well, probably the biggest thing is that they're not desexing their animals, especially over cat season and kitten season. People really need to make sure that all their cats are desexed. That would really help us and reduce the amount of unwanted litters. The second thing is we're really urging people not to buy pets as presents for people. People need to be involved in that decision and really know if they're ready to take on an animal, and also be involved in choosing the animal that they want.
Yeah. How many animals over the next few months do you expect to receive?
We're expecting that probably over the next 3 or 4 months we'll get around 15,000 animals surrendered to shelters all across Victoria, which is, a huge number of animals.
For those that arrive at the RSPCA, how long do they have before a decision is made about their fate?
Under legislation, we can keep the animals here for a total of 36 days. During that period, they spend some time in quarantine, and they also have a temperament and health check to make sure they're suitable to go into sales. And then there's a total of 36 days for them to find a home.
How does that work out with overcrowding, which I imagine is a big problem in Christmas, till this February?
Yeah, look, it certainly is a problem, and again, the cats are the big problem. And the adult cats struggle as well. When all the kittens are available for sale, nobody wants an adult cat anymore. So, yeah, we need plenty of homes for adult cats.
What can people do to help prevent animals being dumped? Is helping out neighbours with pets, things like that?
Look, certainly look after your own animals in that you need to de-sex them, but also helping to educate all your friends and family. If you know people that have a cat that isn't de-sexed, and they might think it's great that, the cat's having kittens every year and the kids get to see these kittens, but then all the kittens go out to new homes and they're not de-sexed, and they all then have litters of kittens. So people really need to be responsible with their pets, and the more you can go out there and tell your friends and family and help them with what they need to know, that would really help us.
Yep. For the animals that do end up here, I imagine there are a variety of ways in which the general public can help. Donating to the annual RSPCA Christmas appeal is one way. Some of the other ways?
Look, we're always happy to take donations, obviously, because we are a charity. We only get a small percentage of government funding, but we do rely primarily on people's donations. So any time of the year, we're happy to receive those. But we can also be happy to take blankets, towels, any sort of, and pet food as well. That all helps us look after the animals at the shelters.
And do you need volunteers? Would that be useful?
Yeah, volunteers also are really helpful. We use volunteers at the shelter for all sorts of jobs, from cleaning to walking the dogs to sort of socialising and brushing the cats. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, then certainly contact us. He's a 2-year-old Labrador, and he was surrendered by his owners and brought here into the RSPCA.
For dogs, there's another important reason why some of them end up in here, fireworks, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Fireworks is a big problem over the Christmas New Year period. A lot of dogs are terrified of fireworks, and we'll find that on New Year's Day we have a huge influx of dogs that are brought in because they're lost, and a lot of phone calls from people trying to find their pets.
Do many of those animals find their owners again?
Look, the best chance of being reunited with your pet if it is lost is by having your dog registered and microchipped. Unfortunately, not everybody does that, and it can be quite difficult then to reunite people with their pets. Dogs can travel a long distance when they're frightened, and they could end up in pounds or shelters that you wouldn't expect them to be in. But if they're microchipped, then we've got all your details on file, and we're able to give you a call and let you know that we've got your dog.
Yeah. Do many of the animals actually end up being put down?
Look, the success rate with dogs is generally quite good. Cats, we do have a bit of a problem with cats because we get so many of them. There's just not enough homes really to go around. So we do find that, especially in this kitten season, that quite a few cats do have to be destroyed.
Why is there such a difference between the number of dogs compared to cats that get put down?
There seems to be a much better awareness in the community around desexing dogs, and also in registering and microchipping them, whereas the message just doesn't seem to really be out there yet about cats, that you still need to have them microchipped, you definitely need to have them desexed, and in most councils now you have to have them registered as well.
Thank you very much for talking with us. I hope this one finds a home.
I'm sure he will, he's very cute.
I hope they all find homes.
Thanks.
Thank you. I have a pet who brings a lot of joy into my life. I've made a small donation today. If you have a pet that brings joy into your life, please consider passing on that joy by supporting the RSPCA or one of the other animal shelters. Thank you for watching Studio Q. Wishing you a very happy, safe Christmas and New Year, and wishing the same to all of our animal friends.
To donate to the RSPCA annual Christmas appeal, or to adopt a pet, or to offer your services as a volunteer, please phone 9224 2222 or visit rspcavic.org. Don't forget donations of pet food, blankets, towels and pet furniture are also gratefully received. Also consider supporting the Cat Protection Society of Victoria and the Lost Dogs Home. And we're back with part 2 of our chat with Rob Astbury, author of the recent controversial book The King and I, about his life with Graham Kennedy, but a fellow also with his own fascinating story to tell. Welcome back, Rob.
Thank you.
Now, in the late 1970s, the next phase of your career was a move into sports journalism on television for both channels 9 and 10. Now, you indicated before we came on air that that wasn't a particular area of your life that you felt was important or relevant to talk about. But I think it is worth talking about because it was an inspirational story. I mean, you took an area that's a bastion of straight maledom, if you like, and made it your own, really excelled in it. And you must have been doubly proud of the awards you won and the accolades that you received.
Yeah, well, you see, I was. There's no doubt about that. And I just thrived on getting the stories, beating the opposition, and rubbing it in their face. I wasn't a popular man with other journalists, I can tell you that. But it was the adrenaline and the acknowledgement and the contracts that followed and the, you know, all this, if you think about it, was the influence of Graham Kennedy, because in a lot of ways he was very similar. He had to be number one, he had to be a perfectionist, and the people around him and people around me who weren't helping me to be a perfectionist, then I'd cause problems for them. and that was just not fair. After my life collapsed and I resurrected my life virtually from the gutter, I was asked to do talks, I guess motivational talks for the Ray White Group initially. And I did those with great success. And during those talks, as part of my presentation, I started giving away all the awards that I won. And the fact is now I don't have any memorabilia. I have one videotape of when I was on television. Everything else is gone. The awards, the photographs, still up because it's the past. I want to focus on the future. I really appreciate what you said, and that's nice, but television's the past.
Well, I suppose you don't really need physical memorabilia of the time because you have the memories and the achievement of what you did in the field to look back on.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because I'm often asked, would I like to go back to television? And this is the way I answer it. 10 days, 2 weeks wouldn't go by. In fact, it happened last night when I have a dream about being on television. But it's always a very bad dream, like the auto cue has stopped, or I'm running late to get into the studio to meet the deadline. It's always a bad dream. There's never, ever a good dream about my times in television. And I think that answers it, you know. I'm past it.
What you said before about having to basically emulate Graham to get ahead in media, did having to work that way eventually disillusion you about a career in media?
No, I loved it.
No, fair enough.
No, I really did, and the fact that I started on Channel 10, where they had Eyewitness News an hour news, and the other stations only had half an hour, it gave me the opportunity to do justice to stories, and instead of following up stories in the morning paper, I actually went out and searched for my own stories to break. And that gave me an enormous sense of satisfaction and frankly, I guess power, if you think back at it. And again, a bit like what Graham used to do. Yeah, exactly. And I loved the publicity at the time. You know, as you know, you've read King and I, Graham loved publicity too. Oh, yes. He just, the morning that he woke up and he had the front page after the crow call, he was ecstatic. Oh, I bet he was. Disappointed when he woke up the next morning and he wasn't on the front page again, you know.
Yeah. It's when they stop talking about you that it's time to worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, during your time in TV, you actually took a stand on your contract, didn't you? You had it written in that you wouldn't be tied to being seen at public events with either a male or female partner. Were you one of the first to do this?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I would have been.
Was that hard to do, and did it affect your relationship with station management?
No. Look, I'll embellish this story a little bit, okay?
Go for it.
I was at Channel 9, and my manager at the time was Jeff Brown, who's now Eddie Maguire's right-hand man.
Oh.
He was my lawyer, I should say, and we were negotiating what was the biggest contract for a sports person in Australia at the time. And we walked into the boardroom, everything had been agreed. There was Ian Johnson and the in-house lawyer who hated me because he thought I was getting far too much money, the in-house lawyer. They were on one side of the table. On the other side of the table, it was myself and Jeff Brown. And Jeff said to me before we went in, he said, "Now, don't say anything about being gay, for God's sake." And I said, "Okay." So we walked into the boardroom, and sitting right up at the end of the table, up the very far end, was Kerry Packer.
Oh.
And he just looked at us and said good morning and made out he wasn't interested in the negotiations that were being finalised. Well, we finally agreed, and I said, I had to sign, and I said, well, look, before I sign this, I just want to make it clear that there will be occasions when I'll be required to attend public events, and I want it on the record that I may turn up with a girl, or I may turn up with a man.
Yep.
And there was dead silence. I'd been kicked under the table, and then all of a sudden Kerry lifted his head and he said, "Listen, son," and he called everyone son, as you know.
Yes.
He said, "We all know you're a big poof, just sign the bloody thing."
Because Kerry, I mean, his father Frank was a notorious homophobe, but Kerry wasn't too bad, was he, on it?
No, I didn't have a lot to do with Kerry. Graham did, of course. He liked Kerry very much, but Graham was afraid of Sir Frank Packer.
Yes, he sounds like a formidable guy.
Yeah, sure.
But your media career did come to an end with a car accident through no fault of your own on an assignment in Perth. Now, I can't imagine what that must have been like to go through, let alone drag yourself back.
Yeah, well, I suppose the car accident was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
But let me say this, these days, I'm a great believer in fate. You do the right thing, good things happen to you. You do the wrong things, and eventually fate will come back and bite you on the bum.
Yeah.
And from that point on, my whole life changed because I became addicted to painkillers, and that led to other substance abuse.
Yeah. Did you have an awareness of when you'd actually crossed the line into addiction?
Well, there are several signs. The most obvious is changing your normal routine because of the after effects of indulging in drugs the night before or whatever. For example, taking time off work, claiming you're sick, but you really have a huge hangover from the effects of the drugs that you're taking. Shunning or avoiding long-term friends in preference for those who indulge in drugs or the drug scene. Making excuses, telling blatant lies to secure drugs. A very distinct sign is promising yourself that you won't take drugs again because you want to stop and you know it's hurting you. And you'll say, "Oh, I'll do this just one last time." But there is never one last time. The biggest problem is knowing all these things and still not being able to accept that you have a drug dependence and that you need help. No one can be cured until they admit to themselves that they have a problem. Once you've done that, then you've got a hope.
So when did you stop, and was there anyone there to help and support you?
Well, I eventually ended up with all the symptoms of a hopeless drug addict.
Yeah.
The only drug I didn't take was heroin because I didn't have the stomach to put a needle in my arm. If I could have, I'm sure I'd be dead now. The turning point for me was when I walked into the bathroom one day and looked into the mirror, and as I stared at my face, I clearly heard a voice saying, "If you keep this up, you'll be dead." And I really heard that voice. I then sought professional help. It wasn't easy. 3 times I broke. and took cocaine, which I was addicted to. I feel it was about 8 months before I felt that I was no longer an addict or dependent on drugs.
So you were able to recognise through the drug-induced haze that you still had a lot to give and a lot to live for?
Yes, and I was doing, stupid things, spending money that I didn't have, ignoring lifelong friendships, and, I hurt a lot of people, as drug addicts do, but I wasn't aware of that, and I remember one day I was at my house in South Melbourne and there was a knock on the door and it was Sam Newman. Sam must have heard that I was going downhill and he said, "Rob, you look terrible." And actually, that was, you wouldn't believe it, but it was just after I'd heard the voice in the mirror.
Oh, wow.
And it was Sam who came in and spent I don't know how long with me, and that really sort of made me wake up too and realise that I did need help from a psychiatrist.
Wow.
And, Sam knows that I've done things for him, but what he did for me this day probably saved my life.
So maybe we need to give the old Sam a bit more credit than perhaps we do sometimes, eh?
Mate, I'm sorry. It's all an act. That man has really got a heart, and I know that for sure.
Wow. Well,
in Thailand we call it Jai D. If you're Jai D, that's all that matters. Jai D means good heart. Jai heart, D good.
So perhaps in a warped sort of way, the accident was almost a blessing. Maybe a turning point of sorts.
Yeah, it was certainly the turning point. It was a horrible experience, but as you've read in the few chapters of the autobiography that I sent you, I've got no regrets.
Well, Rob, we'll leave it there for this week. Thanks so much again for your time. And we'll conclude our chat with Rob next week in Studio Q. In the meantime, check out his website, www.tofindyourself.com, and we will see you very soon.